The world almost ended after a nuclear war. The electric and the international communication networks were destroyed overnight, causing a technological crisis. A botanist and genetic engineer working in the Amazonic forest found the Genesis tree, which had flowered into accumulate incredible amount of energy. This became the new global source of power, allowing humanity to rebuild. All Genesis trees have been aimed under government control since then. In the aftermath of the war, 90% of children were born with genetic disorders. To solve this issue, scientists integrated the Genesis flower into the human genome. Now every person is born with a genetic improvement and received in a will, like enhanced hearing or vision. These genetically improved humans are known as the genetics, and they live like cakes. However, 10% of humans suffer from an immune deficiency that makes their body reject the enhancements. They're not as specials and they're considered freaks, so they're only given jobs like cleanup and maintenance. In the Genesis Institute, Khloe is pretending to be a student on a class trip while her wheelchair-bound partner Leyon pretends to be a janitor. When everybody is distracted, Leyon uses a device on a locked door that allows him to break into the private area. After checking a map, he notices there are 2 guards nearby, so he sends out a small mouse toy. The guards follow it until they catch it and the mouse speeds leaking gas to knock them out. Leyon takes the guards' keys to access the ventilation system and connects a tank that sends gas through the pipes and puts the scientists in the lab to sleep. Then Leyon puts on a mask and tries to enter the lab, but the code doesn't work. He contacts Khloe and asks her to get the right one. In the maid lobby, Khloe hears some boys saying that specials should be put down. She picks a fight with them while the other kids egg them on, so a guard quickly comes over to stop it. Khloe pretends she needs help while stealing the guy's notebook from his pocket. She checks the notebook to find the right code and gives it to her partner. Leyon finally enters the lab and pulls out an old lunch his mother left him to find inspiration in her message. "We are all one. We are all equal." He pulls a lever to open the machine with the Genesis tree and uses an old tool to cut a hole in the glass. When he starts cutting off one of the flowers, the tree shoots spikes and the alarm is activated. Thanks to his protection, Leyon still manages to steal the flower in a blue capsule with flower extract. A voice announces that the facility will be under lockdown, so everyone needs to evacuate. Khloe tries to wait for Leyon, but the guards send her out with the other kids. Luckily, she sees Leyon come out just in time. Once outside, Leyon pretends to bump into Khloe and make her drop her teddy bear, so he heads it back to her. When the guards check his pockets, they don't find anything except the watch. They think the message is done and call him a freak. A man with intense eyesight is checking the students and Khloe gets to pass because the bear is hiding the flower well. Minutes later, Khloe and Leyon watch the news on a big screen on the street. Senator Frank asked citizens for their support because he wants to enable enhancements after birth. This is followed by famous Senator Mira, who announces a tour in the special district with free tickets so they can celebrate genetic care. While they throw out their disguises, Leyon explains to Khloe that celebrities and politicians only pretend to care about specialists to advance their careers. Down the street, a poor man is kicked out of the food store for being a special. A janitor cleans some graffiti on the window that says death to the genetics. Meanwhile, Myra's manager tells her that things are getting too dangerous. The special district has always been a risky area and too many people will be attended, so he doesn't think she should give the autograph session. Mary yells at him, explaining that they'll never achieve unity if she doesn't meet people face to face and refusing to cancel any of her events. When Khloe and Leyon try to go home, guards outside the special district check their IDs before letting them pass. While Leyon does some shopping, Khloe watches an interview with Frank. He claims that he's found a medicine that will let everyone get enhancements after birth, including specials. Khloe is excited, but Leyon thinks it's all lies. Then the duo goes home, which is a workshop where Khloe grows plants and Leyon tinkers with devices. Leyon extracts the parts of the flower that hold the energy and installs them in the prosthetics of various disabled specials. All these clients gave the duo enough to survive another day. After all the clients are done, they receive a call from an man in the genetic district who desperately needs some repairs done. Khloe tries to explain that they don't do on-site repairs, but Leyon takes the job when he hears that the man will pay triple the fee. This makes Khloe freak out since what they do is illegal. However, Leyon assures her he won't get caught. The key is knowing the patrol's routes, and Leyon already knows all the secret open spots and the walls to cross the area while avoiding the checkpoint. The duo makes it to a fancy restaurant where the cook lets them in through the back door. The cook is a special who wears a mechanical suit that allows him to move despite his disability. At that moment, a gang known as the anti-genetics bursts through the main door and cuts down the power. Leyon finishes the repairs on the suit and the cook says he has to investigate, so he asks the duo to wait for the tank. The gang starts destroying the restaurant and beating up the genetics, killing several of them without mercy. Eventually, the room is nothing but broken tables and dead bodies, so the gang starts painting graffiti as well. The cook returns to the kitchen with a bleeding wound and tells Khloe and Leyon what's happening before dropping dead. The duo tries to leave, but the back door is locked, so they need a plan. Leyon asks Khloe to help him put on the cooked suit. Minutes later, 2 gang thugs enter the kitchen and only find the dead cook because Khloe and Leyon are hiding. While painting more graffiti, they discuss a gig that is happening tomorrow and something big the day after that. Asad has a few ideas, but the boss threatens him with a knife, saying they must stick to the plan. One of them drops a piece of paper and Khloe picks it up. When they hear the cops coming, the thugs want to leave. Suddenly Leyon loses control of the suit, which forces him to stand up and throws him on the counter. The two men immediately come after, so Leyon fights them with pots and boiling water. In the struggle, the boss's mask moves and I see his face. Leyon gets pushed on the counter and Khloe jumps in to save him. Then he throws flour to blind his enemies so he and Khloe can run to the exit. Thanks to the suit, he can now force the door open and the duo finally gets to leave. Outside, Leyon struggles to walk in the suit and Khloe has to help him reach an alley. The police cars pass by and thankfully don't see them. Khloe realizes that the suit leg took some damage and has to keep helping Leyon so they can go home. The next day, reporters cover the incident and release a picture of Leyon and Khloe from the security cameras, believing in a part of the gang. They ask for any information on them to be sent to the police. Captain Hughes of the Special Forces says that the Special District is a breeding ground for crime and overrating its sim. Leyon and Khloe freak out because they recognize him as the gang leader. Khloe pulls out the piece of paper and discovers it's a flyer from Myra's concert with a little note. They realize that anti-genetics are planning to attack during an event to frame the specials to make them look like the violent ones. All horrified, Leyon starts packing to leave town while Khloe insists that they should save the people at the concert. Leyon points out that there's nothing a paraplegic and a 12-year-old can do, so a client Khloe calls him out for being selfish and runs away. Leyon tries to go after her, but he isn't fast enough. A flashback shows it taking to Leyon breaking into his father's office to look at his file and noting that he's suspicious. His father caught him in the act. After remembering this and looking at his mother's wife, Leyon decides he must do something. A few hours later, Khloe comes back and finds Leyon working on improving the stick. She helps him put it on and he tests the enhanced movement while explaining he plans to capture Hughes to make him confess. He grabs random objects to use them as weapons and shows off great strength by bending them. Khloe notices that the shit is by the wires, so she runs to a table to mix some chemical agents that will allow him to arm the stew. Meanwhile, Mira is performing a concert in the Special District. The crowd goes crazy and keeps pushing the fest, so the guards had to push them back. After the concert, she tries to get on her bus, but suddenly the guards attack her personal security and her manager to knock them out. The rebels arrive in a truck and start painting graffiti while Hughes tells Mira to behave as she wants to live. At that moment, Leyon shows up wearing a suit and a mask to protect his identity. He jumps from his balcony and tries to open fire, but Khloe's chemicals only cause plants to grow in his stick. The thugs laugh while Leyon uses the plants anyway. A guy gets hit by gas and another one is trapped by vines. While Khloe calls Mira from a stolen car, Leyon starts fighting Hughes and a man at the same time. At first he manages to land a few blows, but soon the gang surrounds him and overpowers him. Leyon defends himself the best he can until Khloe hits one of the thugs with the car. Then Leyon gets in the vehicle and Mira yells and shot while Khloe drives away. They rush home and make sure to close all the doors before the anti-genetics drive down the street looking for them. On TV, reporters said that Mira was almost kidnapped, but a mysterious vigilante helped her, and now nobody knows where she is. She notices that Leyon got hurt during the fight and takes care of the wound, explaining she'd always wanted to be a doctor and help people. Khloe makes a drawing of Leyon as a flower hero and he hates it, but Mira praises it. After Leyon tells her what's going on with Hughes, Mira says that she needs to go home because she has a big event tomorrow with Frank at the Stanley Planning Center. Leyon realizes that will be the anti-genetics next attack. Today they're trying to get Mira, and tomorrow they'll go after Frank. The gang is probably against the post-birth enhancement project. Mira wants to warn someone, but Leyon stops her, reminding her that Hughes is with the police. Instead, they'll make a plan. The next day, Mira and Leyon go to the family planning center pretending to be a couple that wants to have a baby. Mira tells the doctor she didn't tell anyone about her partner and didn't get an appointment because she wants to avoid attention from the media, and Leyon convinces him to give them a tour of the place. While they walk around, Leyon steals some unsupervised keys. Afterward, he distracts the staff by announcing that Mira will perform for them, keeping everyone safe in one room. At that moment, the anti-genetics arrive and Leyon meets them in the lobby. The thugs immediately attack him, so he shoots some gas bombs that melt their masks before fighting them. At first, Leyon manages to defend himself pretty well, but the difference in numbers is still overwhelming and soon Leyon is being kicked on the floor. They manage to unmask him and Hughes starts repeatedly punching him in the face. They're suddenly interrupted by the arrival of Frank's security team, so the anti-genetics run away. Mira comes out and explains she called Frank to warn him because she knew Leyon couldn't fight the gang alone. Leyon wonders why the guards didn't go after the anti-genetics and Frank says that Leyon's the only thing that matters to him. It's revealed that Frank is Leyon's father, and when Khloe overhears this, she thinks Leyon has been lying to her all along, so she runs away. Reporters then enter the lobby, so Frank immediately gets into politician mode, telling them that his son is proof that the disparity between genetics and specials has gone too far. Tomorrow they must vote for genetic unity and stop this madness. The following week, it's announced that Frank's project was met with almost unanimous approval. Buses arrive at the special district to pick up all the 4 people who will be sent to a new medical camp outside the city. After everyone is treated, the special district borders will be opened and the newly enhanced citizens will be allowed to join the genetics. At the medical center, Leyon asks about Khloe and Frank says they have a tumor. When Leyon mentions Hughes, Frank changes the subject and says he'll cure his son. Leyon points out that when he tried to cure his mother she died, so Frank apologizes and admits he made a mistake. He reveals that his late wife left a letter for Leyon and he was afraid to give it to him. By the time Frank made up his mind, Leyon had abandoned his home. Leyon opens the letter and reads a message from his mother apologizing for having to leave the family. She hoped Leyon would grow into a fine man, but she was afraid that his hate for his father would harden his heart. She wanted him to learn to forgive because family always gave until the end. Leyon tries but doesn't say anything. Mira interrupts the moment and kicks Leyon out for some fresh air. While wandering outside, Leyon sees Khloe and they reunite with a hug. Then Leyon tells Khloe and Mira that he thinks Frank playing the anti-genetics attacks as a way to get his project approved. They just need to prove it. Khloe gets an idea and borrows a camera from a man with an eye prosthetic. Then the doctors choose the next person to receive the treatment. In the lab, Khloe sneaks into the vents to record everything. Hughes is chatting with Frank, confirming they've been working together all along. As the specialist sedated, Frank explains his plan. They extract biomaterial from the donor's brain and mix it with the ferritin as the gene modification, creating a pure essence that will be injected into the genetics regardless of age. Frank considers this the next step of human evolution and only cares about curing his son. He's not planning to do anything about the specials and only wants them for harvesting biomaterial. Moments later, Khloe is playing a recording for everyone in the tent and Mira cries as she apologizes to the specials, explaining she didn't know about this. Leyon repeats his mother's message about unity and convinces everyone to fight. He just needs his suit. Luckily, Khloe had stolen the keys to the storage. The next day, Frank and the nurses come to Leyon's room since it's time for his procedure. Leyon reveals he's wearing the suit under the sheets and quickly captures his father before stealing the essence injection from the nurses. Frank tries to convince his son that he did all this for it, but Leyon calls him a monster and leaves. After locking Frank up in the room, Leyon gets some ammo from Khloe and rushes to the security room. He quickly fights both guards and manages to bring them down, but one of them still presses the alarm button before passing out. Khloe connects the camera to the computer to send the footage to the police, but it'll take her 5 minutes. Before Leon needs to join the fight, Mira kisses it. In the jet area, Hughes has arrived with his gang. Leyon and the specials immediately surround them to start a huge battle. The specials are armed with ordinary things like paws and pipes, but thanks to their numbers they're capable of keeping up with a fair fight. Leon's suit also allows him to move fast and take on multiple men at once. Unfortunately, Hughes calls for backup and soon won't arrive with firearms. While many specials get shot down, Leyon fights Hughes one-on-one. After some struggle, Hughes brings Leyon down, forcing him to run away. In the security room, a man grabs Mira by the neck and Khloe isn't strong enough to help. Thankfully, a special rushes in and not to get out just in time. At that moment, the computer finally uploads the footage and Khloe contacts the police. Back to Leyon, he desperately crawls to the lab, but Hughes follows him and keeps beating him up. As they fight all over the tables in the control camp, Leyon uses the chance to open a machine with the Genesis tree. Then he shoots a projectile at his glass to crack it. Hughes grabs Leyon to hit him a few more times and throws him against the tree machine, which finishes breaking the glass. When Hughes is about to kill him, Leyon rips off a flower and the tree shoots the spikes, which stab Hughes in the face and bring him death. Eventually, the police arrive and arrest all at Frank's net. They also find a syringe with the tourists. Khloe and Mira rush to check that Leyon is still alive and Leyon and Mira share another kiss. The following week, the news talk about Frank's secret plans, explaining that people were stated by a masked vigilante. Rumors said it was Frank's son, but authorities denied it. Unfortunately, Frank himself has escaped. In response, the government has ended segregation policies and now everyone is free to travel to twin districts. Mira has received damage to her throat so she can't sing anymore, but she's happily dating Leyon. From the shadows, a deformed Frank watches his son.